What if I told you that the reason you can't get out of bed isn't because you're lazy, but because you're overwhelmed, exhausted, and quietly disconnected from yourself? What if I told you that the version of you that you keep beating up, the one that scrolls too much, sleeps too long, cancels plans, and procrastinates on everything, isn't the problem? What if that version of you is just surviving? I used to think I was lazy. I told myself that every single day. I'd wake up late, sometimes past noon, even though I'd promised myself I'd get my life together. I'd lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling the weight of everything I hadn't done pile on top of me like bricks. I wouldn't even pick up my phone. I'd just lay there still frozen, not tired, not rested, just numb. And then the voices would start. You're wasting your life. You said you'd start today. Why can't you just do it? Everyone else is moving on and you're stuck here. Again, I thought I was just broken, that I didn't have discipline, drive, ambition, whatever word people use to justify pushing through things that hurt. But what I didn't realize was that I wasn't avoiding life because I was lazy. I was avoiding life because I was in pain. And the scariest part? I didn't even know where the pain was coming from. Some days I'd cry without knowing why. Other days I'd feel nothing at all, like my emotions had been turned down to a dull hum in the background. I stopped dreaming. I stopped caring. I stopped feeling like me. And yet from the outside, nothing looked wrong. I still laughed at the right moments, said I was just tired when people asked, posted stories that looked like I was fine. But inside, I felt like a ghost in my own life. It took me a long time to realize what was actually happening. I wasn't lazy, I was numb. Numb from constantly trying to be someone I wasn't. Numb from pretending I was okay. Numb from chasing a life that didn't feel like mine. Numb from always needing to be productive, even when my soul was screaming for rest. Numb from carrying pain I never gave myself time to feel. We live in a world that rewards hustle, but never teaches healing. A world where people say, just push through without asking what you're pushing through, or why. You feel like you have to push at all, and so you start to think that if you can't do it like everyone else, you must be defective, weak, lazy. But numbness isn't weakness. It's a signal. It's your body saying, something's wrong. Please stop. Please listen. And one day, I did. I remember it clearly. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I hadn't eaten anything all day. The sun was already starting to fade, and I was still in the same clothes I slept in. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, hair messy, eyes tired, face blank. I stared at that reflection for a while, and suddenly, something in me broke. Or maybe, something finally opened. I whispered out loud, almost too soft to hear. I don't want to live like this. Not in a dramatic way. Not in a cry for help kind of way. But in a real way. In a way that finally told the truth. I didn't want to keep existing through my days. I wanted to feel something again. I wanted to feel alive. So I started small. I didn't try to fix my whole life in one day like I used to. I just got up. I drank water. I opened the window. I let the air in. I let the light in. And then I did something I hadn't done in weeks. I wrote down how I felt. No filter. No grammar. Just pain on paper. And something strange happened. I didn't feel better, but I did feel closer to myself. Like I had remembered something I forgot. That feeling, that tiny spark of self-connection, became my lifeline. I stopped trying to be motivated and started trying to be present. I stopped asking, why can't I do anything, and started asking, what am I carrying that's too heavy to hold alone? I started seeing the patterns. The late nights weren't laziness, and they were anxiety. The lack of motivation wasn't failure, it was grief. The scrolling wasn't distraction, it was a search for something that felt like comfort. And the more honest I got with myself, the less I needed to force change. Because healing doesn't look like a motivational montage. It looks like quiet mornings where you sit with your discomfort. It looks like saying no when you always said yes. It looks like crying over things you never let yourself feel. It looks like not judging yourself for needing time. Somewhere along the way, I stopped calling myself lazy and started calling myself human. You see, we spend so much time trying to become someone better that we forget how to be someone real. But your worth has never been about your productivity. Your value has never been measured by your output. You are not a machine. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to feel lost. You're allowed to break down even when things look fine. You're allowed to not have it all together. Because numbness doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've been strong for too long. Without being held, it means you've been surviving, not living. And maybe, just maybe, you've been doing your best in a world that never taught you how to feel safe. So if you're still here, stuck, tired, distant from yourself, I want you to know something. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are healing. You are remembering. You are returning. To you, and the path back to yourself is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's soft, quiet, gentle, like sunlight through a window you forgot you opened. You don't need a 5 a.m. routine to prove your worth. You don't need a perfect plan to start changing. All you need is one honest moment, one decision to stop fighting yourself and start listening. One breath where you say, I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be here. And from that place, the numbness begins to melt. The energy starts to return. The spark flickers back to life. Not all at once, but slowly, steadily, like a heart remembering how to beat. You're not lazy. You're just tired of pretending, tired of forcing, tired of performing a life that doesn't reflect your truth. But the beautiful thing is, you don't have to perform anymore. You get to build a life that feels like home. One small, soft, honest step at a time.